Hello everyone, in this tutorial video, I'd like to explain how to substitute x's with angles in order to reduce functions using trig identities and trig functions to calculate integrals. For example, if we are given this integral, it may not look like the derivative of any function we know, but we can carefully reduce the root down to a single term by doing x equals 2/5 times secant of degree, and seeing all of this squared means the 25's cancel out and the 4 factors out because we have 4 in the original numerator. So now we have square root of 4 times secant squared of angle minus 1, and we see square root of 4 simplifies to 2, so we factor out the 2. And seeing we derived earlier, secant squared of angle minus 1 is tangent squared. So now we have 2 times the absolute value of tangent, because of the fact a square root is always positive. However, since we are doing an indefinite integral, i.e. an integral that does not have specific values, we can assume it is positive to make our work easier, and drop the absolute value. So now we see, because we assumed that x had this relationship to the angle, it follows the change in x is the change of this, and we remember the derivative of secant of degree is secant of degree times tangent of degree, and that a constant stays the same in a derivative just like an integral. So now we plug everything in, including the change in x relative to a degree. See that, luckily for us, the 2/5 times secant of theta cancel out. So we have 2 times tangent squared of theta relative to change in theta. We rewrite this as secant squared of theta minus 1, because we remember the derivative of tangent is secant squared. So in conclusion, the integral is 2 times tangent of theta minus theta, plus the constant of integration like any integral. However, we are not done because we have not computed a finite value in terms of x's. So we diagram out a right triangle. See that because secant of theta equals 5x over 2, and that by trig, secant is 1 over cosine, or the hypotenuse over the adjacent, it follows the tangent by the Pythagorean theorem must be the square root of 25x squared minus 4 over 2, and that the degree must equal the inverse cosine of the secant flipped, or 2 over 5x. So since we have figured out a formula that relates degree to x, we plug these in, and finally distribute the 2 to simplify our answer. Now that we have seen how you can use angles to replace x's in integrals in order to simplify them, we can move on to decomposition of fractions into partial fractions in order to figure out their integrals. Don't forget to subscribe if you found this video informative, and make sure to see other tutorial videos, and follow me on either Facebook or Twitter for more content.